Hi everybody, this is Amy and welcome back to my channel. Today we're making Galbi. For this dish we need 3 pounds of Korean short ribs. These are also called flaken ribs and you can now find them in most grocery stores. We're going to put them in a large bowl and cover them with enough water to fully submerge the ribs. It's going to draw out any impurities as well as wash off any bone dust through the cutting process that your butcher has done with these ribs. While that's soaking, we're going to make a marinade. So to a small bowl, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of mirin, which is sweet rice wine, a 1/2 cup of soy sauce, a tablespoon of gochugaru, which is Korean chili flake. If you can't find this, just use regular chili flake. 2 tablespoons of toasted sesame seeds, 2 tablespoons of regular sesame oil. Now this next ingredient might be a little exotic, but it is plum syrup. If you can't find plum syrup, just substitute this with honey. We're going to add in 3 tablespoons of our plum syrup and 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. One is a little bit more sour, one is a little bit more earthy. We also need to roughly chop up 3 scallions. We're going to add this to the bowl of a food processor or to your blender, whatever is easier. Roughly chop up an 1.5 inch piece of ginger, just to make it easier for our machine. Chopping up 1/2 of a small onion, smashing up 6 cloves of garlic, and we also need an Asian pear. If you can't find Asian pear, we only need 1/2 of this. You can substitute this with an apple or kiwi, but if you can find Asian pear, I do recommend it. So once that's all in there, we're going to whiz this up with a 1/2 cup of water. I'm just using that same measuring cup because it's all going in the same marinade. Once it's blended, we can add it to the rest of our ingredients, and we're going to give this a really thorough mix to make sure all of those ingredients are integrated. And this is going to be a little sweet, very savory, salty, just all these great, beautiful flavors blending together. Now we were going to marinate these overnight. You can keep them in the same bowl if you like to. I like to use a Ziploc. That way I can make sure all the air is pressed out and that marinade is really getting into the short ribs. Once all the ribs are in there, we're going to pour in our marinade, push out as much air as possible, and then I'm going to put this on a tray and stick this in the fridge overnight, just going in every once in a while if I remember and giving it a little flip. But we want that to soak up all that beautiful marinade. Now it's the next day. You definitely want to pull these out and bring them to room temperature before you cook them. No one wants to cook a cold protein. While those are coming to room temp, we are going to make an onion doenjang. So to a small bowl, we're adding 2 tablespoons of doenjang, which is a fermented soybean paste, a tablespoon of gochujang, 1 tablespoon of mirin, 1 teaspoon of our plum syrup, and 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. We also need to mince up 1 clove of garlic, 1 small chili pepper, and we need about 1.5 tablespoons of diced up onion. And we want these little dices to be pretty small. So just going in and chopping up about 1.5 tablespoons, just give us a nice little choppy chop. And then we can add that to our doenjang mixture, and that is pretty much done. This is going to help cut through the fattiness and the richness of the beef. Now we're on the stove over very high heat. We're going to heat up a grill pan. This is even better if you can grill it outdoors, but I cannot. I have a small apartment in Brooklyn with no backyard. We're going to layer in our short ribs, being sure not to overcrowd our pan because we don't want these to steam. And we're going to only cook these for 3 minutes per side. These cook very quickly. So just going in, make sure you have your hood vent on too if you have one. Going in after 3 minutes, giving these a really good flip. And my grill pan wasn't hot enough yet because there should be a beautiful caramelization on this, and it did heat up a little later, and I did get a really nice char. So after all of our ribs are cooked, I've just put them on this little cooling rack for ease of eating, and because it's the Korean way, I'm just using kitchen shears to cut between each bone, and so this makes it just easier to eat when we make a little wrap. Now to plate, I'm pulling out my favorite platter from one of my favorite people. Thank you, Michelle. And we're going to plate this with a little perilla leaf and a little lettuce, along with our onion doenjang, kimchi, and of course, fresh rice. And this is looking delightful. Now I just want to taste the short rib first, so giving a little dip in our doenjang. And the beef is so tender. It's picked up all of that marinade. There's a sweetness to it. You get the beefiness, of course, from the beef, a little tiny bit of heat, saltiness. This is really wonderfully satisfying. Perfect for like your summertime grill. Now we'll make a sam or a wrap. So taking a big leaf of lettuce, adding on a perilla leaf, a little bit of rice, a touch of kimchi, one of our beautiful Galbi ribs, and a little dollop of our doenjang. And this to me is the perfect bite. And it is absolutely delicious. But there it is, LA Galbi. I hope y'all try to make this in your home. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. If you like this video, give it a like. If you love it, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell because I put out new videos every Thursday. Thank you so much again. And until next time, happy cooking.